Reliable, dependable, Delta.
If you live here in St. Kitts and your tank on E, there's only one place that you should be. Maybe driving in Nevis and you need some fuel. Go straight to Delta. Don't be a fool. Get your cooking gas fast. All petroleum needs ULSD. Everyone in the region is shouting, go Delta. Premium gasoline in a fully stocked C-store. So there's only one place you should be, Delta Petroleum, baby.
Y'all ready for this?
St. Kitts and Nevis, are you ready? The game is about to change. Sports betting and iGaming like you've never seen it before. Coming soon. Powered by BetCage Sports. The action, the odds, the thrill. Bet the way you want. Anytime, anywhere. Get ready, St. Kitts and Nevis, because BetCage Sports is bringing the heat.
The heat is on.
Proud sponsor of Cricket West Indies. Play responsibly. Must be 21 and older to play.
The heat is on.
RIA Easy Money Transfer Limited, located on West Independence Square Street, Bastyr, St. Kitts, and the Solomon Arcade, Nevis, offers you safe and reliable transfers at great low rates and fees to 507,000 locations worldwide, with a pickup time of just 15 minutes after your transfer. And for even more ease of doing business, we home deliver and direct bank deposits in selected countries. So if anytime you want to send money to family, friends, and loved ones, at RIA, we've got you covered. With over 30 years of experience moving money quickly, efficiently, and securely across 160 countries. Give us a call at 465-3325 in St. Kitts or 469-3325 in Nevis. Opening hours Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., 8:30 in Nevis, and on Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. RIA Easy Money Transfer Limited.
What if your money did more than sit in an account? What if it built dreams, supported families, and empowered futures? At St. Kitts Credit Union, we're more than a financial institution. We're a family that believes in your potential, rooted in people helping people. Enjoy competitive savings rates and low interest loans for mortgages, vehicles, education, and more. Need security for you or your loved ones? The Family Indemnity Plan and Loan Protection Insurance give your loved ones peace of mind, whether you're saving for school, building your business, or planning for tomorrow. SKCU is here for you. It's not just about banking, it's about belonging. Contact us at 465-2272 or any of our branches. Learn more online at www.skccu.com. Become a member today and be a part of something greater.
Reliable, dependable, Delta.
If you live here in St. Kitts and your tank on E, there's only one place that you should be. Maybe driving in Nevis and you need some fuel. Go straight to Delta. Don't be a fool. Get your cooking gas fast. All petroleum needs ULSD. Everyone in the region is shouting, go Delta. Premium gasoline in a fully stocked C-store. So there's only one place you should be, Delta Petroleum, baby.
Y'all ready for this?
St. Kitts and Nevis, are you ready? The game is about to change. Sports betting and iGaming like you've never seen it before. Coming soon. Powered by BetCage Sports. The action, the odds, the thrill. Bet the way you want, anytime, anywhere. Get ready, St. Kitts and Nevis, because Betcage Sports is bringing the heat. The heat is on. Proud sponsor of Cricket West Indies. Play responsibly. Must be 21 and older to play. The heat is on.
Hey, Webmaster here. I stay connected to Freedom with the Freedom SKN app. Simply search for the Freedom app in the Android's Play Store or the Apple's App Store and download it. Enjoy world-class radio at its best, anytime, anywhere. Become a Freedom apper today.
Addie's Place presents our variety concert, Thursday, 10th July 2025 at Job N. Ward Outreach Center, Dr. Lakes Drive, Shadwell. Time 6 p.m. Price only $50. Come and be blessed. Tickets are available from Addie's Place, Burn Street, Greenlands, or Fancy Deli Delight on Church Street. It's 1:33 right here in the studios of Freedom FM. It's time for issues, St. Kitts and Nevis. Today is Tuesday, so today we are having hot topics. Novian is here already. Today is the 8th of July 2025. Novian, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Jamie. And good afternoon to the listening public. Whether you're home or abroad listening, I say to you, good afternoon.
Okay. So this afternoon, we are going to have a very interesting conversation, a very educational conversation as well, because we will be discussing safeguarding the nation's children, a topic that was raised last week on Hot Topics, and people did call in surrounding those issues yesterday as well. So we have an expert guest here with us, and Novian is going to introduce our guest.
Right. So today we reached out to the Commissioner of Police to get some help, because a lot of times we say we need to protect our youths, we need to safeguard our youths, but how do I as a parent safeguard my children? How do I as a member of my community safeguard the children of the community properly? And so we reached out to the Commissioner of Police, and he recommended his top expert, Sergeant Odin, to come and
so not just an expert, but the experts of experts.
Of the experts, correct.
Yes.
So he sent for us Sergeant Odin, who is also a member of the MacLeod community, to tell us how do we properly safeguard our youths, how we properly safeguard our children, what do we look for, what are the signs, the early warning signs, and the solutions in dealing with it as parents, as community members. So today isn't a political conversation. We're not
at all,
going to be
so nobody mix us.
any political Labour, PAM, PLP.
No, because
not
this is an issue that affects all of us.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
This is a national issue.
And it transcends any political party
exactly.
or any
even national borders. This is something that we are seeing throughout the region and throughout the world.
And we have to do better.
Yeah, definitely. So welcome.
Welcome, Sergeant Odin.
Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, Nubian. And to you, the listening audience, thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you here. Now, Sergeant, looking at the news just in recent times, right? And I'm not just speaking about the news in St. Kitts and Nevis, but I could go to Guyana, where a little girl was missing. She was found dead.
In a pool.
Right. We all saw that unfold, and we all felt the pain of that on social media. Then we saw a case in Jamaica. Yeah. We saw a case in Antigua. That was a little girl as well, right? So we are seeing these cases unfold before our eyes where our children seem just not to be safe. As an officer, I would imagine that it's very difficult for you to get these reports and have to do these investigations, right? Mm-hmm. Tell us where we are in St. Kitts and Nevis when it comes to the safety of our children and what the community, what is needed from our us as a community.
There's a lot that I can say. I don't want the parents to feel as if they're not doing a good job. There are parents out there that are really doing a good job to protect their children, but nothing is wrong with more advice and more things that you can do. I always believe that it takes a village to raise a child. And when I got pregnant, I don't say my menopause child, in 2016, I created a community with godparents. I created that community. I believe in community raise a child. We can do much better as a community to safeguard our children because we shouldn't wait until something happened to say, I saw this, or I know this, or this happened this time. It's too late.
Right, you had a sneaky feeling.
Yeah, it's too late. It's too late. And my thing is, if you see something, report it to the relevant authorities. Whether child services, if you don't want to come to the police, if you feel comfortable coming to the police, you can come to the police. We have anonymous calls that you can make. You don't have to identify yourself as well. Report what you see. Let it be nothing at the end of the day, or if it becomes something, let justice be served. Let the pedophiles or whoever be identified, be exposed. Reporting to the relevant authorities. Because I can say this much, it's unfair for police have to play catch up when you go to social media first. Because police have to know all the leads that are out there already, time has already elapsed. Police have to play catch up now in the investigation. So you see something, you realize something happened, you realize that your child didn't come home at a particular time, and no police officer should be telling anybody in 2025 that you have to wait for 24 hours.
Okay, I'm happy that you mentioned that, because what is the protocol? Because there have been situations where I've seen people post on social media that you can't report right away. You have to wait a period of time before a child is reported missing or before someone is reported missing.
Well, I can speak about a child, even with someone. Let's be real. Even if somebody reports something at the time has not gone as yet, police have a right to respond to all reports. And I remember one of my backgrounds is Special Victims Unit. I spent almost 7 to 8 years there. And we done away with this 24 hours reporting.
Because so many things can be lost during that 24 hours.
Long time ago. And this is where we need, as a community, as whether education, police, child services, we need strong policies. We need strong laws. And it must reflect. Too much loopholes. We need to clip what we need to clip. Get the right persons who make the laws to go back through, see what loopholes are there, because nobody's supposed to be waiting until 24 hours to report a child missing. Too much things can happen within that 24 hours.
Right. That child life could be saved.
I know that was done away. Unless somebody come on the air, come and tell me differently. I think it was done away.
It's kind of, sometimes we just have a perception.
Right.
And that is why, again, these conversations are important, because people become aware that because a lot of times we have these notions that the law says this and the law says that, but it doesn't actually say these things, right? So we need to be aware that, if your child is missing, you report as soon as possible
to the relevant authorities. And everybody got a bus. If you feel as if somebody's not moving fast enough, everybody got a bus. Because I was responsible in SVU for doing the posters and sending it to the commissioner to be authorized before the PR will send it out. So I know. And you'll always see it. You can remember my numbers will always be on top of the posters. And yeah, back then it wasn't like this where we're finding children dead, but at least we used to find the children in and especially when the poster go up, you can bring them out of the whatever hole they're in. So report to the.
But there have been cases in the past. I remember when I first started at Freedom, there was a little boy that was found dead.
I remember that. I think that was
one of the most traumatic stories that I
covered.
don't think that if I was in the force, I probably was in training school or something like that. But it was a couple of years ago, maybe over 14, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the countryside, yeah.
I think in Godwin got somewhere in that area.
I remember
yes.
that, yeah.
Right. So what are because a lot of times you find that, well, this little girl goes missing, because that is the more frequent side of it. This little girl goes missing, and a couple of days she shows up, and then nothing is done, or to the public, nothing is done. So a man takes a 12, 13, 14-year-old girl, he have her in the house for a couple of days, probably go and tell the mother sorry, tell the father sorry, tell the brothers them sorry.
Pay money.
Pay money,
Pay them
and
off.
then nothing is seemed to be done.
Maybe, well, I'm more at home than you might be at home, but I have seen action being taken in the recent, I think up to last year, someone was charged for harboring a juvenile.
Yes, I remember that.
I've seen
the Market Street area.
I've seen action being taken. It ain't every child that run away also run to a man, because I've had cases where persons run away because they were being abused actually in the home, physically abused in the home as well. So I've had that cases, because we got this thing, a little girl run away, she gone by she man, she gone. We need to, unless the evidence does not show that, we need to
because
be quiet.
as soon as you see the poster, that's the first comment you hear out there, she
Right.
gone by a man.
Universal. It's universal,
Yeah, but I think we need to move beyond that. And even when children run away, there is a reason.
Yep.
So because a child runs away, that doesn't mean that you don't look for the child, because that child is somewhere, right? And it could be in danger. So you don't just say, oh, well, she probably run away and that's that.
Yeah.
How could we just take that kind of approach?
We need to become more sensitized, and a lot of sensitization needs to go on. And it's sad that we have to do it after a loss of one of our own children of the Federation. But a lot of sensitization, we need to start with our children, we need to start in the schools, we need to start in the churches, we need to start in the communities. And one of the things that really rubbed me wrong is when you ask the parents, who is their friends? Tell me you don't know. How? Some parents don't even know the password for their children's phones.
Right.
No child in your house supposed to have a phone and you don't have a password. I don't care what nobody say. Yeah.
Correct. You're supposed to be able to look on that device
Exactly.
anytime you want.
You have to know your child, know who is in their circle. It's very important. And too much times we absent because we think that solving the problem and giving the child a phone, be quiet. Because you gotta know what your child is involved with. Go to meetings, show up.
Yeah.
A child seeing a parent that is showing up is likely not to be involved in vulnerable stuff because they have that support. Listen to me. I remember a teacher tell me last year, another teacher was speaking about Jen. We wonder, how do you show up for everybody, child, and still show up for your own as showing up? As showing up for my child.
Right.
I screaming the loudest. I'm his first cheerleader. I screaming the loudest, and that goes to all of my children. As showing up. Show up. I remember my daughters, the children, and used to ask if I am a teacher. Because I visited, I want to know what's going on.
Right.
And when they start to act out, call me, I'll come in.
And because you were there, they probably would not act out because they know, well, mommy is always there, because I've said that
She's
even
just a phone
about
call
me.
away.
Yeah, show up.
Well, I didn't get involved in certain things when I was in school because I knew by the time I reached home, my grandmother would know. Right?
Yeah.
I knew that, right? So I knew that, you could do that because your parents probably don't care, but I could not get away with that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So when you have, and it wasn't even a matter of fear, but it was just not wanting to disappoint the people who are pouring into you. So
Right.
when you have a child and that child sees that you are there all the time. No matter how small the event, you are there. They're not going to want to disappoint you.
Yep.
Right.
Definitely.
And as the sergeant said, when you give your child a cell phone and that cell phone connects to the internet,
You're opening them up to a world.
to the whole world. Your son or your daughter could be WhatsApping or seeing something going on in Iraq in real time, or something in America real time, or some pedophile in Sandy Point or Nevis or Guyana or America
And
in real time.
pedophiles pretending to be people in their age group, because that happens. I think a lot of times we put our heads in the sand and figure like, we live in a small community and nobody. Listen, people out there actively trying to go after your children right here.
And whether boy
This
or
is
girl.
serious. Yes.
Yeah, but, and that's the part we don't ever talk about. We don't ever talk about the little boys.
Just maybe around the same time with our missing teen. It had a young man reported to one of my officers something that happened. And it made me myself, because that same person, he's an evangelist, he call himself. He's now in Anguilla on bail. And he's still committing offenses where he pretending to be a little girl and telling the young man to do certain things. And I guess the young man, you're glad this pretty little girl troubling you and whatever. And the young man found out was a male. And
an evangelist,
Somebody in the church.
Yes.
Yeah.
And listen to this. That's not it. I remember years ago, my son that lives in Tortola was acting out because he didn't really want to be in St. Kitts. So he started to act out, and I put that same young man to speak to my son, but my son said he don't remember. Because I can't even, if I say too much, people will remember years. Because we were close like that. And the young man, my son, for however reason, he started to message my son on Facebook, and he's like, "Mommy, your friend messaged me on Facebook pretending to be a girl." I said, "Who is my friend pretending?" He said, "The same person that you said." I said, "Okay, then block him." And I felt violated 3 weeks ago that I put my child in that position.
Correct.
But luckily he was thinking enough to come, and however technology, he found out who he was and stuff like that. And I'm glad that he was able to come to me and I said, what, block him, you don't have to say anything else to him. I said, okay, you feel the same or whatever, but I didn't see him after that. So I guess then he traveled, a missionary, whatever they said, he's doing, no disrespect, but yeah.
But, I'm happy that you raised that situation that happened with you.
Yeah.
A mother
Yeah.
who is always there, always doing your best, seeking out a village for your child, and this happened.
Yep.
Because over the last few weeks, and I'm not trying to find excuses, but I find that in our society, we're often quick to judge and to bash.
Yep.
And we're never quick to help in situations, right? So you see all the comments and you hear people trying to malign other people's names, people trying to bash people as parents. And without getting into depth with that situation, you realize you said that you found godparents for your child. Because I heard somebody but what godfather are you talking about? My daughter has godparents, and I would feel comfortable. Well, she big now, but when she was, I would feel comfortable having a godparent pick her up from school.
Right.
There were male friends, who I felt comfortable, and I still do feel comfortable having around my daughter, because especially as a single parent, you have to create that village. And you have to have people around you who you can trust. Now, when that trust is breached, then the onus is on you to act. But who should we really be bashing? The parent or the perpetrator? Because people are out here. Predators are out here, right? And Remember the situation that we spoke about the other day, Numian, with the lady who came to share her story.
Right. Yeah,
you
yeah.
realize that was godparents as well?
Yep.
And you're looking for help. You're not, and I'm not speaking about financial help, but you're looking for assistance.
Support, yeah.
And people are just breaching your trust and just out here doing the most with your children. And in a lot of cases, they have to have access to your children. It's people you know do these things.
Yeah.
It's hardly ever strangers.
And well, one of the questions I would want to ask the expert is, what do we look for? Because a lot of times the perpetrators don't come with guns and knives.
No.
They come into your circle, come
As-
into your
as-
house
as evangelists.
as evangelists, as a lot of different things, come in a lot of different form. The wolf in
Exactly.
sheep clothing, come into your
Exactly.
space, come into your
And
houses.
teachers and guidance and counselors and
This is the question that has haunted me
Right.
as to what do we really look for? Because I tell you, when it hit home, I like, that should have been my body I could have got to and talked to and sent my
Yes.
child to instead.
Mm-hmm.
I put my son in a red flag that I didn't even see the red flag. Me of all
Correct.
person didn't even see
Correct.
the red flag.
Correct.
And listen to me, I protect my daughters just like I would protect my sons. I had multiple opportunities to travel. My daughters were younger and I said, oh, my daughters, no, I ain't gonna leave my daughters, no, I ain't gonna leave my daughters.
Yeah.
And I remember one lady, I was working KFC, and a lady came in and she said to me, and that haunted me up until today, wherever you have daughters? I said, yes. She said, wherever you go, go with them.
Mm-hmm.
Don't leave them with nobody. And she told me her story, how she was, and it's always the person that you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's
All the-
hardly strangers.
Because children don't necessarily go to strangers, because we're going to teach them.
Yeah.
Stranger, danger from the time they're little. So the
definitely.
strangers don't really have the access to your children.
We have to look outside of the box. For example, I remember one case in point where a lady reported that the boyfriend was more focused on her daughter. Gifts, showing up to stuff, and then he became obsessed. He couldn't hide it anymore. God rest his soul. He became obsessed to the point that he'll be outside her window even when they finish. So he didn't come to me. He came to my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Go in and go kiss her here. She father go kiss her good night. Tuck her in and because we're looking for that sense of belonging.
And sometimes these men, they prey on single women. They prey on
Vulnerable
women
women.
who they feel need the assistance.
Vulnerable,
Who they feel.
yeah.
I remember one time a guy said to me, ask your daughter if she wants to go to the beach. I'm going to the beach with my child. And I'm like, my daughter is 13 and big like me. And your child is 4. Like, men understand the connection. I don't understand.
boy.
Right? And right away, that was a red flag for me because why you want to go anywhere with my child for? And we weren't even close to, he like, oh, to give you a break, may need a break. We good.
And now we're in a society where we don't only have to look at the male teacher or the male pastor or the male counselor. We also have to look at the females because they too. And you ask, what is the red flags? Wow. They come knocking on your door pretending to be your friend, pretending, oh, I can have afternoon classes with him or her. The red flags still haunting me because I feel as if what we used to think is red flags.
Right.
Yeah,
So then, what
think
do you
also.
do? Because you realize that based on all we're saying,
You have to have open conversations with your children. That has to be one of the first. The child has to be. You have to be the one that your child trusts.
because your son came to you.
Yeah, but you have to be that. You have to have that open dialogue that your child can feel comfortable to say, "Mommy, I have a boil between my leg," or "Mommy, a boy said that he'll give me $5 to do certain things to him." You have to have that open conversation. You can also tell by when your child starts to act out that something is changing in my child. I need to seek help to find out why is my child behaving so she's acting out in certain spaces, especially school where it's supposed to be a safe space. You have to know A lot of us don't know our children, though, you know.
Yeah, that's the truth.
A lot of us don't know our
That's the
children.
truth.
So
We give
you
them pacifiers, the iPad, a phone, a this and that, so you don't come harass me because I just don't work hard and I got a second job and I come home tired. So
Yeah.
at least let me give you something to make you feel, to distract you.
And as a parent, you feel like you're doing your best.
my grandson stayed upstairs last week and messaged me. And then when he realized I wasn't, he said, Nana, you didn't realize that? I said, we're going a long distance conversation.
I'm
I said,
telling
I'm
you.
here. Come and ask me for what you want. You don't message my phone. No, if you're by your mommy or your daddy and you want to message me, fine. But
Right.
when we in here, we talking here.
Exactly.
We talking, say, put on
Exactly.
their phone. My son can go on his school laptop and tablet and them things. If he go on it, tell yourself because he has to go to school. No, have that conversation with me. I give you a bike, I give you thing, I give you buy marbles so that he can learn how to pitch. And no, and do these things with your children. Get
Yes.
involved.
Yes.
Nothing is better than trust, and you must see the flare up. You must be able to identify, and you have to know your friends. Because some of us don't know certain things about our friends, but because we want the help, we ignore the flags.
Mm-hmm.
We know the flags, we amend them that we bring in home.
Many
as
times
well.
we're in denial.
Yeah.
Because people would say, well, you know, this person is whatever, and you're like, but I'm not seeing that, right?
Monitor your child online activities as well. Because a lot of us, we give the children phone, but there's no babysitter to pop up to say, I remember, and I had it here, and I guess I deleted it on the computer, one of the apps to give up, but I can always send it back. We give the children the phone, but we don't have anything to know or monitor them as to what is on the phone. And I can have Samsung, I can give you an iPhone. I can't be serious. Tell the children them small. In primary school, have phones better than mine, guys. Sure, mine ain't cost no more than. No, in me, I beg it down. That's why it's 300. That's me. That's me. I'm serious. They don't know what goes on on
And
the
you know,
phone.
there are apps that you can actually track the location of your
Yes.
children.
Yes.
And somebody said to me that I was being neurotic.
No.
because I had that app. And I'm like, but how big is St. Kitts? Listen, a lot of things could happen
Right.
in the small little St. Kitts.
I had a parent at my club, and the first day of anything, Easter camp, the first day of anything would throw off. So anything that could go wrong would go wrong on the first day. And transportation was one of the issues. However, she contacted me to give me an hour. She said, okay, then I will have to turn back on her phone so that she can be able to call me. And I'm searching for the parents up until this day because I want that app that she can turn off the apps.
She can turn off the phone.
Turn off the apps. She has to get, in order for her to, notification will come whatever app the child is using and them kind of things. I don't care what nobody say. You gotta know what is going on in your child's.
And use it for the
Very
children.
Social. Yeah. Even with the
Yeah.
emoji that they would put up, if they put up a sad emoji, you find out why you have up that sad.
Yeah. What's going on? Talk to me.
That's
Tell me what's happening.
That's that thing. I remember my oldest son, twice I ever see him mad in his life. Twice. And one of them, it was a violation from an ex. Somebody that I call him fishy. I call him fishy. Right. I told him straight up, go and tell your boss, listen to me, you're working in the same space with him, go and tell your boss what is going on, and if you continue, then you'll have to leave because nobody's supposed to be violating your personal space.
Right.
The man will tell him how much he dream about him and them kind of things. And
Wow.
I saw my...
You know that's sexual harassment?
I saw the on his snap, mad face. Like, why you mad? Why you upset? And then he said something that I didn't understand, so I called. I said, ask the boss for 2 minutes on the phone with me. As an adult, I call still.
Right.
Yeah, show up.
Exactly.
A lot
Be
of-
an advocate
yeah.
for your children.
Oh, boy.
You can know a lot of the conversations that your children having out there with other people.
Because
that is a lot of what happens, and it transcends even sexual conversations. It could be somebody trying to get them to be in a gang, somebody trying to get them to do something wrong. So you need to know. Well, I saw you talking to partner over there. What he want? I see you talking to that woman there. What he want? Yeah, like I went to pick up my daughter, and there was a guy standing next to my daughter at convent school one of them afternoon. I pick up my children every afternoon. What he want? Oh, he say he know you, and listen.
Yeah, they always know you, you know.
I know. I know the whole of saying kids. Don't keep up the conversation with he. He's a child, and that's a big, big, big man.
One time a guy said to me, your daughter is not friendly. Good. Like, what do you mean? Oh, I saw her coming from school in the square, and I said hello, and she didn't answer. Well, she's your friend?
Exactly.
Me and all are your friend. Why are you interfering with my teenage daughter while she's coming from school? You a grown man who could be my father.
Okay.
We don't have to have these conversations. Leave people, children.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But for Nubian, I want to ask you a question specifically as a father, because you always have your children with you.
Always.
Right?
Always.
Are these conversations that you're having with your children? Because for me, I don't remember having a conversation like that with my father. My father was like my friend, right? Are these conversations that you're having with your children, or are you like telling their mothers, listen, talk to your children?
Oh, no. I actually live with 5 of my 6 children, and we very close. We do go fishing together. We got game nights. We sit down and talk. It ain't always about the cell phone. It ain't always about this. I work very hard, so sometimes I'm really tired and sometimes I ain't got the energy. But I know that she's the only girl in the house, and I see sometimes she doesn't want the attention. So even though I'm tired like a dog, I go and sit down and just talk with her whatever she want to talk about. Something she want to talk about shit there. Something she want to talk about something that happened in school. Something happened with this. But sleep overnight, nobody sleeping over at my house. I would not be responsible. And this is one of the questions I wanted to ask the sergeant also. Well, nobody sleeps over at my house. She has her play dates, and a couple of the female parents would go with the children at a hotel and what's not, and then pick them up. I would not allow my daughter to have a play date by nobody's house, because they have mail there. They got even.
You don't know a brother, cousin, uncle,
right?
God, you don't know
and
who
so
in and out of the house.
I am her protector until she's old enough to half protect herself, and then I'm still her protector at that point in time.
You gotta believe that.
And so there is no. She asked me, well, Daddy, how come you ain't a godfather? I said, for that same particular reason. Yeah, she has no godfather. My friends ain't her friends under no circumstances. People that I know and I would call out to, ain't she friend.
Because that's important, you know.
Yeah.
Because even from my experience, I know men who used to come around as my uncle's friends when I was little, right? And now I beg these men coming and telling me all kind of things, and I'm like, no, there's no way. There's no way that could happen, right? And I wonder about the mindset of these men, because how do you watch a child grow up into an adult and then feel like it's okay?
You see, most of these people has no scruples. They are predators, because I can't imagine me being your friend, coming to your house, gaining your trust, coming and having conversations with you, and then have an ulterior motive in the back of my mind.
Exactly.
In your space. I work my way into your space for that particular reason. And I don't know if there is something on the books where if we have any temporary insanity, because if something happened to my daughter, I will lose it. I'm telling you now, I will lose it. If something happened like that happened to one of my children, I would lose it. I don't know if I will get it back, but I know it will break me mentally.
So you don't know if it'll be temporary?
I don't know if it'll be temporary. Right. I would lose it. Trust me.
But a lot of men, I find that a lot of men, because they have those same thought patterns, they're like, oh, but that's just a part of life.
Oh, no, no.
Right? So they whereas I am appalled by those things. A lot of men are just like, yeah, it's a man, that's how men are.
Listen, my cousin Caldo, he died. He has a daughter, Univia. I never lift her up in my arms.
Well, you can't lift her up now.
Well, they can't lift her up now. But as a baby, because me on nobody lifting up my daughter. I never put her to sit down and me lap her on my leg because I don't want nobody to do it to my daughter. That's how I feel. And I don't encourage it. I don't do it because I don't want nobody to do it to mine. I would feel offended. And so, because I don't want you to lift up my child, I don't lift up anybody's children. Nobody don't come by me and lift up my daughter, or nothing at all, lift up my children them. Because I don't do it to other people's children. Because I would take offense.
You gotta create your own boundaries. You gotta create your own safe spaces
and pattern that for the children. Because I remember I had a situation with that with my daughter when she was little. She was just starting to walk, and we went to an establishment, and she was just proud that she could walk, right? And a friend of the family, not my family, but a friend of the family, lifted her up and put her on his lap. I was like, there's no way. I took up my child. And at that point in time, and she was little, and I want to listen, tell them no. Don't go to people.
Yeah.
Because I didn't see the reason for that. You know, and she, as small as she was able to ask questions. And say, but mommy, why? Okay, mommy, whatever. Because sometimes we don't speak to our children because we feel like they're small and they don't understand. But they can understand.
You know what I find? I find that a lot of times, a lot of these predators use Christianity and the gospel and the church to infiltrate people's confidence.
And their wives. The fact that they're married, they use that as like a safeguard. So they will come and ask you, Nobian, I realize that you have a young daughter. She's growing up. I have a youth program. Can she come to the youth program? And you're like, no, because it's a man, right? And then they say, oh, but my wife would pick her up and drop her off. And I don't know if the wife in on it, but they're assisting with it. And this happens a lot, where wives actually go out looking for these young girls. I don't know if they are aware what their husbands are doing with these young girls, but I know for a fact that it happens.
I want to piggyback on what you said about friends not coming to your home and sleep over and stuff like that. That is also important. I'm going to give a little twist to it. You also have to, but I like that you said that the female, the mothers go. You have to know your children, friends.
Yes.
Engage them, because then you'll see whether the characters coming out and what you need to clip and whether you want your child around certain characters and stuff like that, because you have to create, even with her friends, the safe spaces.
Yes.
And create leaders. We have to create leaders among our children at a very young age. And I like that you said that your daughter was at the age to ask questions and you were able to speak to her in her language. That is important. You can't go with children with big words. You have to come down to their level and say, listen, no, mommy, no lap.
Yes.
Create those boundaries now. And I always say that we need more.
And I spoke to the man too, because I didn't want her to feel like she was doing something wrong.
Right.
Right? But I made it clear that this cannot happen.
You said my next point, even if something happened, you can't play the blame game with the child. You let them know it's not your fault. This should have never happened to you.
Right.
And you let them know mommy is going to deal with it. Mommy is going to report things. Don't tell the child, oh, don't say nothing. Because even with baby Romney incident, a lot of persons messaged me about traumas that they had also as children. And one individual said to me that, the mother used to send her to beg. And that was one of the things that she herself got violated because of the begging, the neighbor begging the friend and stuff, and they would prey on her.
You see the sponsor sheets too?
Ah, boy.
You see the sponsor sheets that schools like to give children?
I give contribution.
Yeah, that's it.
We ain't doing that.
The school say, give you the $50. I put the $50.
Yeah, I might
sign my name to it,
even put 70.
Or if I go,
submit it back.
I go instead, not my child. I go. But with my daughters, I give contribution.
We're not doing that. Because how are we teaching our children to be comfortable to beg strangers?
Yeah.
I don't know if nobody remember, but I remember I used to have some girls would sell nuts, especially during the summer. And you'll hear the stories that this man pulled them in the house.
Yeah.
You'll hear the awful story, little girl. Yeah. This has been going on for too long in our community, and it's time that we stand
But
for
you
something.
see, you spoke about when you were a little girl, because there are people who feel that back in the day, everything was perfect, right? And there were no predators, and we were just living in a utopian society because we don't like to talk about these things, right? And many times within communities, we know, we know who the predators are, and we protect them because we're friends, we're uncles, we're brothers, with whoever. And I've seen that happen so many times. When you hear conversation about after 12 is lunch.
Yeah.
What are supposed to mean?
Exactly.
And now we're in a diverse community where certain culture would say still have that from a time a child, 12.
Kitty shouldn't have it.
Yeah.
Not even, we ain't even had to go far.
We're adopting it, that after 12 is lunch, and even when you, oh boy, yeah.
If listen, after 12 is lunch for everything, yeah, because you feel as though you could trouble my daughter because she's 12.
Ah, boy.
It's problems. Yeah. Just putting it out there. Just putting it out there.
It's crazy, because even if I ask her for some sugar, why you don't go bring me daughter?
Exactly.
And I remember people used to give people this kind of word when we were in school. Oh, you breed for a tin of milk and
or a hamburger,
KFC,
them kind of, yeah,
top up.
a top up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh boy, I feel old.
Yeah. But when we were in school, they had no top up.
Yes. I had no phone.
Right. But there were pagers.
Yeah. Pagers were introduced after a while.
And people were doing stuff for pagers as well. But one of the issues I wanted to raise with you, too, is the conversation about the age of consent. Because nobody, I remember the other day we had a conversation about this.
About the age of
right?
consent.
And these situations lead me to wonder if the conversation even makes sense, right? Because we are seeing where people are molesting 12-year-olds, right? Molesting 13, 11. The child that we did the story about, that child was an 11 or something like that?
Who, the last child?
Yeah, where the mother was here.
Yes.
Primary
10,
school.
10,
Okay, let's say
10.
primary school,
Yes,
right?
She said 10.
So my thing is, they don't even care about the legislation that is in place.
And anybody under the age of 14 years old is life.
Is
the maximum penalty is life.
Is life.
And they're taking the risk.
Yeah. It's sad. Is it that we need to? And again, we have it in schools. We have the lessons in school. So I don't know.
But the question for me is how people know that is a known pedophile, and the police can't go out and put sting operations and monitor and get enough information to bring that person to justice. Because trust me, you just hear it, you just hear it on the street, you just see it.
When I was growing up, I knew the pedophiles. You knew them. When you're walking down the road, you know who they are.
We could set up sting operations to catch a man who's smoking weed, set up sting operations to catch a thief, We could set up sting operation and get your drug bust and guns and everything. But our children need protecting also. And so a lot of times, like there's a particular guy up in my neighborhood, and I don't tell my daughter, when you see he, go on the next side of the street. Keep me out of trouble.
I, as
when
an
you see
adult,
him.
had a situation with that same man.
Okay, cool. Go on the next side of the road, because it is said, you don't hear reports, the person get locked up a little while and then he come back out again, and they're in and out, keep doing the same thing, because at a point in time, jail does nothing at all for them. You go rest up yourself for a little bit, you come back out big and strong to continue. So, as a matter of fact, my daughter don't walk no way. But if she does happen to walk anywhere, you see, I showed her, you see that particular gentleman, when you see him, cross the street.
We had to start with changing our laws, and just this week I had a conversation, the Sunday self. We need a sexual
Registry.
Act. We're having all of that. We don't have a sexual act, and that is where a lot of, again, the loopholes. We don't have a sexual act, and that is something that we need to implement.
But do we need a sexual act to cover that when, if they come across the police station right now and say, I think Nubian got some coke in the house, the police is going to come.
Because there's the legislation to support the police coming for that.
Hold on. So there's no legislation to support.
That is why she's saying
for a pedophile or somebody
I want to. Okay, remember. Okay, you see, you're here. He's a pedophile, but we need supportive evidence, and that is the thing. You're here. You say that the person going in, West up for a few, maybe again stronger laws. I don't think anything stronger than life penalty, but I don't know.
You know what happens in many cases.
As I said, the registration, and I think that they need to say, because we adapting a lot of things when it comes to America, but we don't adapt everything.
Right.
Because if a pedophile move into my community, I supposed to know.
Right.
Police supposed to know. We don't know. We don't know the move about and stuff like that. That is why I said we have to start with the laws.
Yes.
The laws need to reflect what we want as a community to safeguard our children. And let's hope that somebody out there is listening, because I know the DPP is very passionate about creating laws, especially when it comes to our children.
And we have seen charges even brought against people who accept money for these things. And people, y'all prostituting y'all children, just so you know.
Yeah.
So
because
I believe
taking money for sex is prostitution, isn't it?
We get the first good case, and we are parents who actively put their children in those situations, and the perpetrators who actually accept the children as gifts. By the time we get the first one or two good cases and they get the punishment, I believe it would send a strong message.
But Nubian,
I don't even think so.
I remember a couple of years ago, we spoke about that this week. I was dealing with a case, two sisters, and my former boss, Lindita Powell, and I had to take a different approach. We had to come out the uniform, and we had to build that bond with these girls. We became auntie. We became mommy and auntie. And to the point, it took up some work, to the point that they told us what has been happening, but they also told us that we ain't getting nothing to write. We don't write nothing because we like the lifestyle. Mommy can't afford to give us the weave and the phone and the clothing.
Wow.
Yeah, I can remember Romney's incident flipped all of that what I thought that I had healed from. It flipped all of that. I remember that like it was yesterday in the office. I remember it. And that is not just the only incident we had where parents were pimping off their children, but the children refused to give
evidence.
To talk. The children refuse to talk. Even if you give them a certain amount of counseling and whatever, they refuse to talk.
Wow.
So is it that we have to, from a young age, let our children know their worth, that their worth?
Yeah, the
But you see,
self-worth.
who would really let that child know their worth? Because you're speaking
And
about
again, it's supposed to be the
parents
parents. Yeah, but the parents
who are teaching their children that this is the way to go. So sometimes, because when I was teaching, I remember a situation where a parent was, I don't even want to say abusing because that word is not strong enough, physical abuse, right? But these children, this is all they knew. And for them, it was the norm.
Right.
And whenever there was any sort of intervention, they would lie to protect the mother because this is all they knew. My mother loves me, she cares for me, she works hard for me. And so, yeah, sometimes she would punish us because we did XYZ, but that's just how she parents. Right? And you would see the bruises, you will see the scars, you will see all of this, but those children lied for that woman.
But even so, this is where child services comes in, because they're not just about rifting the children apart, but mending that relationship, creating safe spaces for those children by healing the mom. And our family court should also be able to assist with that. And this is where I say again, we take things from America, but we're not taking the holistic
Correct.
package. Child welfare can offer that counseling. I know that, and I've offered my service to gender affairs for parental classes free. Nobody never picked me up on it. I'm sure almost 8 years past. Right now I'm trying to ask God for guidance where, I don't want to approach the parental classes where the parents feel, oh, she think that men doing a good job. But how do we fashion it that we can empower our mothers to become better mothers? We're just adding flavor to you. Hey, listen, my words feeling, boy. Yes.
So a lot of time what happened to is, and how do we work with that? Because when you're going to find a single mother who have to work 2 jobs, so you work from 8 to 4, from 4 to 9, you come home tired, bad.
And not only that, school finishes at 3:30.
You gotta go cook.
So
you gotta go
till
do this.
9 o'clock, that child.
Can we put a system in place for single mothers to try to assist in a way in which she don't necessarily have to work 2 jobs just to provide the basic needs of her children? Because sometimes bad choices, you end up with 4 or 5 children, you still want to provide a certain amount of extra classes for them, you still want to do certain things, and you go and you put yourself out there tirelessly providing for your children, and at the same time, are you actually providing for them, or you're hurting them with your absence?
Right.
But then you still gotta go work in the afternoon from 4 to 8, from 4 to 9. So how do we strike that balance in our communities? How do we help those single parents who really want to provide for their children, but you still gotta work?
Bring the community centers alive.
Yeah.
Bring the community centers alive. That children have that safe space.
Correct.
With safe individuals.
That they can be vetted.
Yes.
Elevate have a wonderful program when it comes to vetting. They can be vetted. Bring the communities alive. And I like that you said that, and I hope that you're on that stage right now.
I was thinking that too, but we're not discussing the politics today.
So even though we're not, it kind of it kind of pulled me that way. That person here not today, it's a Nubian program, but it's a community, and we are trying to see how best we can serve our community and serve safe spaces for our children. That platform can be used, and not only used, but I need to see it implemented. Because a lot of us talk about we're for the children, but then when we go into certain spaces or get appointed in spaces, we're not for the children. We're not seeing the impact because that stipend for that mother, and a lot of parents are saying, even I have a sister that I'm helping out, and I said, why you don't go last year? you don't go for uniform and stuff for you. She said, oh, man, going to that. They want to know too much of my business and stuff like that. I said, no, but if I'm giving you my money, I must be able to know what is going on and how maybe I can help, maybe I cannot help, but at least I need to know what's going on. There's nothing to hide. Everybody, or even them who come in and calculate your money, they owe somebody somewhere. So I said it's to say that a person must be encouraged to take whatever assistance is out there and the government is giving. Maybe can be a new package that the government can implement to help single mothers. We need help.
Right. The absence, a lot of times the absence is what has create the leeway for people. You're not around, your children home by the
children in your absence. You know?
Your children will be raised either by you
or
the gangs or the streets or a pedophile or somebody
because
will raise
again, people love to say the community isn't raising the children anymore, and they are. It is. Yeah. The problem is the community that a lot of us live in. Right. We don't have a community. We don't have communities with only wholesome people, right?
Right?
So some of them are grooming our children. Some of them are encouraging our children to take on the gang lifestyle, right?
Exactly. Listen, I have a friend. She's from Monkey Hill, and anyway, she see an image when him, she call me. Anywhere. I remember.
And nobody ain't going to shop, eh?
like just before he went, my eldest son, just before he went to college, he was still in convent school, and she saw him in Newtown.
Don't say we.
She called me. She said, hey, Nubian, I just see your hand is cross here.
This is what we need.
And anywhere she see him, she call me. One time, me and she works, and she said, hey, we're vexing now. But I just see your hand is crossed here. You understand? Yeah.
But, somebody else will go and say,
nobody going to be
me. But not only that, man like Nubian, so let he take that. It look like his son going to be with the bad company, them and one being gang. Let he take that. He always talking. Let he them kind of things. There are people out there who actively wish bad for children.
Yes.
It's true.
And some of these people are teachers and in the church and that kind of thing. Like, it's just amazing to me.
I just had a parent before I came here told me that primary school level, and the teacher at that particular primary school would leave, knowing that her son and the next little boy have conflict, and tell them, oh, I want to fight, and turn off, leave them in there. I said, how? We supposed how?
I was on a bus the other day, and I listened. The person wasn't speaking to me, and I listened to her. She's a daycare teacher. Whatever. She works in a daycare, right? And she was speaking about the parents. But the tone and the things that she was saying, I'm like, you see why I only got one child? Because my grandmother had to be alive to look after my child. Because how are we taking our children to somebody who obviously does not like children? And these are babies who can't talk.
I feel that when you sign up like to work in a community center, you sign up to work as a teacher, you sign up to work as a sport instructor, dealing with the children in this nation, certain fields, when you sign up and you sign in your contract, it should have a clause inside there that deals with the betrayal of trust.
Before that, you need a psychiatric evaluation because this woman.
Correct, but they got
needs to be assessed.
The perps them intelligent here and they could tell you what you want to hear because that's what they do.
Yeah.
They use them out and they come and they try to influence you. There's a clause that once you're found in violation or the breach of this trust here, that we entrust in you with the safety of our children, this is what can happen to you.
Yeah. Anyway, we have to take a short commercial break, and then when we come back, we'll open.
Off and off.
Really?
Very
you could see, I can't see.
Yes.
So let's take a commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Yes.
Reliable, dependable, Delta.
If you live here in St. Kitts and your tank on E, there's only only one place that you should be. Maybe driving in Nevis and you need some fuel. Go straight to Delta. Don't be a fool. Get your cooking gas fast. All petroleum needs ULSD. Everyone in the region is shouting, go Delta. Premium gasoline in a fully stocked C-store. So there's only one place you should be. Delta Petroleum, baby.
Y'all ready for this?
St. Kitts and Nevis, are you ready? The game is about to change. Sports betting and iGaming like you've never seen it before. Coming soon. Powered by BetCage Sports. The action, the odds, the thrill. Bet the way you want. Anytime, anywhere. Get ready, St. Kitts and Nevis, because BetCage Sports is bringing the heat. The heat is on. Proud sponsor of Cricket West Indies. Play responsibly. Must be 21 and older to play. The heat is on.
What if your money did more than sit in an account? What if it built dreams, supported families, and empowered futures? At St. Kitts Credit Union, we're more than a financial institution. We're a family that believes in your potential, rooted in people helping people. Enjoy competitive savings rates and low-interest loans for mortgages, vehicles, education, and more. Need security for you or your loved ones? The Family Indemnity Plan and Loan Protection Insurance give your loved ones peace of mind, whether you're saving for school, building your business, or planning for tomorrow. SKCU is here for you. It's not just about banking, it's about belonging. Contact us at 465-2272 or any of our branches. Learn more online at www.skccu.com. Become a member today and be a part of something greater.
RIA Easy Money Transfer Limited, located on West Independence Square Street, Bastyr, St. Kitts, and the Solomon Arcade, Nevis, offers you safe and reliable transfers at great low rates and fees to 507,000 locations worldwide, with a pickup time of just 15 minutes after your transfer. And for even more ease of doing business, we home deliver and direct bank deposits in selected countries. So if anytime you want to send money to family, friends, and loved ones, at RIA, we've got you covered with over 30 years of experience moving money quickly, efficiently, and securely across 160 countries. Give us a call at 465-3325 in St. Kitts or 469-3325 in Nevis. Opening hours Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., 8:30 in Nevis, and on Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. RIA Easy Money Transfer Limited.
Hey, Webmaster here. I stay connected to Freedom with the Freedom SKN app. Simply search for the Freedom app in the Android's Play Store or the Apple's App Store and download it. Enjoy world-class radio at its best, anytime, anywhere. Become a Freedom apper today.
are back. It's 2:35. The numbers to call in are 662-1065, 465-6474, or 465-0546. And yes, the conversation did continue while we were on the break, because this is a topic that all of us are very passionate about, and I could tell that the callers want to get in as well.
But
So
Jamie,
good afternoon.
Jamie, what we want to do is just let the callers take like 2 minutes, because something the callers want to take 10.
Yes.
Not today. We
And we
can't
have the
afford-
time.
We
don't
for
have
10
the
minutes
time.
today.
Okay, so caller, go ahead.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Officer Ordain. Good afternoon, Mr. Greer. This is Natasha Gray Brooks.
Hi.
I've been trying to get in because this is a topic that is very dear to me, and I'm going to try my best to condense everything into 2 minutes. I apologize if I didn't go over, but I'll try my best. Because I wear a number of hats. But the most important hat that I wear is a citizen, a mother of St. Kitts and Nevis, who wants to see the best for our children.
Right.
Now, the topic that you are discussing is very, very important. Very important. And it is something that has not just started to happen.
Right.
I was a victim of some of these same things that you have explained and looked at. You have neighbors who are supposed to be looking out for children, trying to bribe children in sexual acts. Sometimes parents send their children to family members and friends overseas, and they use methods to try to put themselves on children. In fact, I started doing a TikTok series in relation to my own experiences. And I think maybe it is because of some of the things that I had to speak about. Right. I did not even finish. But I agree with you that a lot of what is happening now, it requires a concerted effort by community members, by a neighbor raising the children. We need to go back to that. I like where Nubian explained that he has a friend in Monkey Hill, and regardless of where that friend sees his children, he gets a call, regardless of whether they're speaking or not. And when I was studying in Jamaica, I can recall reading some of the case files, and I got a bit emotional because women were using their children as a meal ticket regularly. And I was wondering, like, even sometimes in relationships, so they have their partner living in that house and agree to put their daughter in an area with their partner, so that if the partner was paying the house rent, he could either top it up, and maybe the daughter is maybe younger than them. So they basically prostitute their children. And it is a normal thing. It is a normal thing there. But I'm very saddened to see that it is becoming a normal thing here. And we have to do better as a society. I know Officer Oden has been working hard and trying to ensure that our children are safeguarded and protected, but she needs help. She can't do it alone. She can't do it alone. I mean, I'm in a similar situation with, I don't know if she got the phone call a few months ago, but I did tell Chanel the three of us need to sit down and speak about our personal circumstances and see how best we can help some of our people in the community, because look at us. We were able to overcome and not let our situation define us. I'm over 2 minutes. I'm coming. But on a serious note, this is something that I'm not even sure if legislation can solve the problem, because there are persons who look for the loopholes.
Right.
There are persons who look for the loopholes. We need improvement in the morals of our people in society. We need education, a platform to educate not just our children, our mothers, how to deal with their finances, how to not put their children in harm's way. Parents are supposed to protect children. Parents are supposed to protect children and not expose them to any kind of danger. And I am willing to do what I have to do in any platform with anyone to make sure that the children of St. Kitts and Nevis, especially our girls, are protected. Because the boys get abused too, and we don't want it to get out of hand. Yes. So I think my time is up. But Jamie, if you want me to come on your show and talk, talk
definitely,
all day
definitely,
with passion. Because
definitely.
I sometimes I don't even know how my legal hat will fit in this realm, because I try to not to take things personally, but sometimes it becomes personal.
It has to, because you're a human being. But thank you so much for calling in with that contribution. Let's go on to this call. Good afternoon. You're live.
Hi, good afternoon, Jamie.
Good afternoon, Loshi. How are you?
Good afternoon. I'm good.
Loshi? I did not cut him, for the record. I did not cut him, but it cut out for some reason. Let's take this call. Good afternoon. You're live.
Hi, good afternoon. How you all doing?
We're okay.
I couldn't wait for a program like this. Last year, I got a call which wake me up out of my bed, 7:30 in the morning. Load of chaos, everything. Went down, it was chaos in a home. By the time we reached, called police, everything, then mother had to be taken to the hospital because she was pregnant at the time and stuff. Teenage daughter was in the house. And in front of me, and I guess you had recently, the teenage daughter bust back and say, she's stepfather, the molester, and say whatever. I say, what you just say? And she tell me, she repeat it again. By the time the mother came out, I say, tell your mother what you just said to us. She repeated and she give details. Me and the neighbor, we did everything we could. We reach up SUV, everything. You know, the mother turn around and tell the SUV them, she dropped the case, tell the SUV them, don't tell us nothing what going on. And moving on today. My thing is, I have WhatsApp messages, I have everything. Right? My thing is, if you did not want anybody to know or you ain't wanted me, what you tell me for? Will you come disturb me for? Because there's no way I could have known that was going on and need help. I'll do whatever I can to help.
The help wasn't really for the mother, you know? The help she did not want the help, but the child needs help.
But the
child needed the help.
Exactly.
And the mother lock it down. The mother lock it down and then turn around trying to make me look like me a terrible person, but I got all the WhatsApp, I got everything.
But the mother cannot drop a sexual case at SVU.
Well, when I saw the police and I say, well, what is what? They said, oh, the mother said, don't tell you nothing.
Oh.
The mother said, don't let you know what's going on. You hear me? When I see the mother, I watch her like I see doo-doo. How could you do that to your own child?
Because the mother herself might have some scars that it flared up too.
Mm-hmm.
But why would you suppress something like that? Because at the end of the day, the child has his or her own
now
scars.
Listen to me.
And we're raising broken children who become broken adults who get children who become broken parents.
And the cycle continues.
Yeah.
Listen to me. That child said to the mother in front of me, all the time I'm telling you what the man's doing to me, you ain't doing nothing.
So the mother knew.
The mother knew. And she knew more than what she think to when she ended up talking. But you see what happened? I recognize when she realized things were coming out, she got shame. Because she knew the man was a deported pedophile. she knew.
Carla, thank you so much for your contribution, right? But
Man, they could listen to me, because people, when I talk about it, because that shit bother me so bad. When I talk about it, they don't say, oh, she talking, and they don't think. Listen to me. How could you do that to your child?
thank you so much for your contribution. We'll reach out to you. Nobody, you know who it is, right?
No.
We're going to reach out to you. We'll reach
catch
out
the
to you,
voice.
right? Thank you so much for calling in. Listen, these things will just raise your blood temperature. Good afternoon, you're like.
Jamie, me again.
Okay, don't let your phone
I
go.
just drop out just now.
Yeah, pay your bill.
No, Nubian, my bill up there. That's one thing bill up there for not this year.
Right.
Yes.
All right. Now, that topic there is very, very, very touchy. It's a very touchy topic. And to be honest, you will never know who are the rapists, who are the this, who are the that out there. You will never know.
We know. What do you mean we will never know? We know.
I guess he's speaking
You
about
may
the
not some.
camouflage.
You may not some.
Oh,
You may not
okay,
some.
The
okay,
camouflage
yeah.
themselves.
You may not some.
Yeah, yeah.
But to be honest, you may not know all.
That
Because
is
hear
true.
the thing. Hear the thing. Nubian, can I use you? Let me use you as an example.
You want to be this
Let me say, me and you be in a body from long time. Right? I go by Nubian house, eat, drink, we eat a little food, something. So the whole family know me. But push come to shove, let me say, I go downtown, I see your daughter. And I buy in a fake. And let me say, hey, let me be on the call about she name. You would like to have a freaker? She said, yes, please. I give it to her. Okay? Now, she will only take it because of the connection between her father and I. But the daughter don't know what me I think. You know in the Bible, for instance, David had a couple sons well, and it take 2 years, and kill his brother for raping his sister. So the point I'm making is simple: is we will not know. No, let me look at it. Let me look at the pastor. A pastor come and say, "Oh, sister, I will come to pray for." Let me say, Jenny, can I using you now this time?
Jesus.
a pastor come to Jenny. Jenny, I would like to pray for you because I know you're going through a sad moment and blah, blah, blah. Jenny, I would like to pray for you. But while the pastor pray for you, he hold your hand. And he don't feel a fast moment of your hand in his hand. Right there in his head, you don't know what he's thinking.
That's my hang on, hold my hand to begin with.
No, but I just show you.
Right?
That kind of, it is very, very thickish to know.
Yes.
One
Yeah.
time
And this is why we cannot just always bash parents and sit in from a, we can't always come from a place of judgment, because sometimes if we are in the same position, we just may have made the same decision.
But Jamie, as a youngster growing up, I remember back in St. Lucia, the Calypsonian sing a song. Mothers, hold on to your children. Carnal knowledge is a problem. Even though they're looking good, don't dress them up to put men in the mood. Right? And that song always stays with me. A lot of the times, our parents expose the children to those rapists, whatever you may want to call them, pedophile, whatever you may want to call them. It's true. Because of your eyes, that doesn't mean you could go and touch. But if you're advertising, you have to expect somebody would want to buy. Now, I am not saying this to say I'm giving people right to do this. The point I want to make, sometimes we have to dress our children that make them believe or make them to understand they are children.
Okay, Lucia,
Okay?
your time.
That is the point I want to bring, Jamie.
I understand.
Let's dress them up to make them know that they are children.
Okay.
Until then, Jamie,
yes,
just make God all what we have to do every day, every night, pray for our children.
Yes.
Because let me tell you something, there are some demons out there, you know.
Walking right among us.
Yeah.
And here the thing, we are talking about only most of when we hear about 35 and those things, we're looking at mostly girls. But let me tell you, there's some what boy out there want mess up them little boy life, you know. But Jenny, I will call back another time for another show that you may have, and I will tell you something that will shock.
Me ain't gonna be shocked.
Well, let me not give you a piece of it. Please, quick.
Lucci. Call me and tell me. Okay.
I'm going to call you and tell you, Jen. I'm going to call you and tell you.
Okay, thank you so much for that contribution. Let's take this call. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Jamie. Good
Hi.
afternoon, Nobian.
Austin, you love this program, right?
I tell you.
You're one of our frequent callers.
One of these days I'm going to bring Austin as a guest.
Every program. I need to know what's going on.
He said that he's going to bring you as a guest. Okay.
Well, let him send the invitation.
What's going on, Austin?
I'm going to be very brief. So let me try to capsule what I want to talk about. Jamie, every criminal commits crimes because they think that they will get away with it.
It's true.
And one of the things, a few of the things that make them think they will get away with it is because justice by favor is the biggest form of justice that's administered in the world, including St. Kitts and Nevis. Justice by popularity and justice by omission. We don't want to talk about it. We need to talk about the hard subjects, not just pick the low-hanging fruits. And I am of the view, Jamie, based on my own surveys and studies, that we are giving these people, these criminals, especially sexual misconduct against children, reason to grow, reason to become emboldened, and reason to feel satisfied that what they do, they're not doing anything wrong. Until we address those hard issues, we won't get anywhere. And I'll give you 3 examples, Jamie. One of them I heard you on it as well.
Quickly, okay, Austin?
Yeah, very quickly. One of them went all the way to the court. The person was convicted and got a slap on his wrist from the court because of who he was or who he is. That is going to create a problem in our society. I'm not going to call any name, but there's a teacher who was recently arrested. He's been doing that since he was a young teacher. People know, and people said nothing about it because of who he was. And one is a Calypsonian who was recently arrested. And that, when you arrest them, you hear people talking about how long they have been committing things. But you know what? Because of justice by favor, justice by popularity, justice by omission, we give them a green light to do the things that they have been doing.
And we're all complicit.
All complicit. Until we begin to do what we need to do.
Okay, Austin, thank you for that contribution. And maybe we'll bring you back here to break down the justice by favor, justice by popularity concept. Yes. Good afternoon, you're live.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
It's a lucky afternoon, it's a sad thing. To everyone. Jamie, good day again. I overheard that y'all saying that y'all saying little girls that the man abuse and murder.
He said, what did you say we said?
That we all, everybody, we feel all, right?
No, we weren't speaking about any particular person today.
Okay.
We're just speaking about these situations, okay?
Hear me out now. What I'm saying, we feel all. But whoever murdered that little girl there, we got to bring back the galleys or whatever you call it. We got to pop that person up and send a serious warning to these people in St. Kitts. If we ain't hang that person here, sister, we really fail the little girl. Trust me, whoever it is. And if they want me to come and press the button or whatever for the galley, so I will volunteer to do it. As long as we can do it. Trust me. This is what we have to do. Otherwise we fail out. Because if he can go in that jail, go eat food, and then Christian go in there, go, he change his life and put him back out, that ain't gonna work for this society no more. This time to stay.
Thank you so much for that contribution. Listen, people have strong feelings about these things, eh?
Yep.
Let's take this call. Good afternoon. You're live.
This has been an excellent show, one that has been long in the making. And if I dare say, at this time of the afternoon, when many people are at work, perhaps we can think about doing a show like this at night, where other people can have access and give their views. There's a lot that can be spoken about. But it seems to me we need to go back to school to learn how to be parents. I was raised by a very strict mother, and I raised my son strictly. And one of the things I learned from a young age, I dropped him off to school in the morning, and I picked him up in the afternoon. And when he came into the car, the first question I would ask him is, how was your day? What happened in school today? Because you have to get children to be able to talk to you, to feel comfortable enough to talk to you. And one of the things I used to tell him, threateningly, is if he did something in school that he's not supposed to be doing, I'm coming up to the school and I'm going to beat him in front of all the children. Maybe that put some fear into him. But the thing is, as parents, we have to get our children to open up and to speak up and to feel comfortable enough to tell us what is happening. A lot of what is happening now, the parents who are failing the children, somebody failed them. And so they're struggling as to how to deal with this information now. We're struggling because of the young girl. And if I dare say, and I hope this doesn't rub anybody the wrong way, this is a week's conversation, or 2-week conversation. Then we're going to go back to being normal. Because that's the way we see it around here. We talk and talk and talk. We don't really see things happening.
But we have to change that, right? And this is why we continue to bring. This is like the fourth show we've spoken about these kind of issues, right? Because while we do take on the politics, we understand that we are dealing. Politics is about people, right? Right. We're dealing with communities, and we have to fix our communities. Right. We have to fix the ills that are around us. I remember a specific case where we broke the information, and we didn't just break it, but we made sure that it was circulated because action had to be taken by will or by force, right? So the conversation, I think, for the policies to be put in place and for the legislation to be put in place, the politicians, not because one here, but the politicians have to understand that we are serious about these things. We ain't just want no $500. We ain't just want no whatever they're giving. We want to know that our children can walk the streets safe. There are policies and there is legislation in place.
Jamie, you are so right. The politics have to be streamlined right now. We have a deeper issue in our society right now that's affecting all of us. And if we don't get it clean, we're going to be mourning, crying, bawling, holding our bellies for a long time, because this will keep happening over and over and over again. It's really, really sad. I don't know the family. I don't know that young girl. But I tell you something, she's been like my little daughter in my mind. It's really, really sad. Really, really sad what has happened. And we have to bring our children. Sometimes on my way to work, I'll stop and pick up children on the road. And I engage them in a conversation. Find out who they are, what's happening, try to get them to open up in whatever way. And I know there are those who say, they're too fast. They just want to know about people, children. We have to reach out to the children.
But then at the end of the day, all of us fast, But it's
we
what
don't,
we fast
don't
in.
know what the child
And
might
what
be.
we fast about. Because all of us don't mind people business, but we mind it so we could go and chat them. We're not minding it out of concern. So be fast.
Well, the thing is that you never know that child that needs somebody to reach out to them and hold their hand and talk to them and show concern at that very moment. You never know when you're going to meet that child. Anyway, good
Thank
show.
you so
Good
much.
show.
Thank you
Thank
so
you very
much.
much.
Thank you, caller.
Okay, I'm hearing the line on the other side go off. That is not the line to call. The numbers to call are 662-1065, 465-6474, or 465-0546. We are 1 minute over time, but let's take this call. Good afternoon.
Jamie, me again. One question I have for you. Is it this good? How could we work out this one? When a 20-year-old could tell a 14, 13, just name it, or even a 40-something-year-old could tell a child, you are beautiful. Could that ring a flag for something else? Or should we done away with this compliment story by saying you are beautiful? Should it have a time frame, not a time frame, an age frame for that? I thank you.
Thank you. Luchi will answer your question. Well, the experts will answer your question. Let's go back to the phone lines. We are trying to squeeze in as many calls as possible this afternoon. Good afternoon. Okay, we missed that one. Let's try this one. Good afternoon.
Hear me?
Yes.
Ike again.
Ike, turn down your radio, please.
Ike should know that they're from the start.
Yeah, I will tell you in one hand. Watch. Lucy just asked an important question, right? And I was having this conversation with somebody a few moments ago.
Mm-hmm.
You think it's a Nevis? We don't have a culture of giving compliments with a genuine heart. Mm-hmm. Like somebody would walk up to you and say, well, Jamie, you look good, eh?
Oh, you look good, though.
And most of the time, we parents don't give us the compliments neither. The people who are supposed to be complimenting you and pouring into you and building up your self-esteem and your self-confidence supposed to be your parents.
And you realize that we come from a culture that our parents don't show love.
No,
they don't. You don't say that I love you. You don't kiss your children.
What?
You don't even hug your children.
Coming to the radio station, my daughter said, Daddy, leaving here and give me a hug.
Exactly. Yeah. So that is why it's so easy for predators, the stinking people, the pedophiles, man and woman, to walk up to your children and start pouring nice things into the ear.
It's true. Because some children have never heard that they're pretty,
It's true. All right. So, Lucy, nothing is wrong with giving a compliment, but it must come from the right set of people.
Yeah, but Ike, what are your thoughts about this hugging thing and this? Listen, I do not like, and I'm going to be very specific. I do not like Kittian men to hug me.
Because most of them will.
Because
and they don't know the
to me, that ain't a part of saying it's culture. I would go around other cultures and okay, you're gonna hug me, it's fine. We could dance, it's fine. Because Kittian men they hug you for other reasons.
Even the very strippers them in the strip club they complain to me. That thing men them go to the place and they very
no offense to you, but maybe you.
And that's something that we got to get out of the people and start some in the home.
And they feel like they have an obligation, like you obligated to allow them to touch you and kiss you on your cheek, like just coming up to you. Nobody kiss me.
What? Even me as a man, not like people touch me. So I could only imagine how women do feel sometimes. And some of them touch don't be so creepy.
No, it is not.
And cringe.
So when you see a Kittian man gonna just walk up to you and just kiss you on your cheek, like
you only mean something. They don't know the place. And that is why the pedophiles them don't get away with
And you're trying this with me, a grown woman. You can imagine what they're going to try with a child who they feel
vulnerable.
like, exactly.
Vulnerable, there you go.
Yeah, man.
And they know because they
know.
They know, they watch.
Listen, it's an art for them, you know. Yeah. It's an art. They could read the room. They could read who kind of suffer.
And they know who children into trouble.
Yeah. Exactly.
Because there was a situation with a particular gentleman and man, and he was caught doing something, right? And all of us know this man. And I said, you know, I didn't know because when I was going, I was always firm. I might be quiet, but you ain't going to feel like you're going to try a lot of things with me.
Right.
And when I remember having a conversation about this man, and I was shocked. And my sister like, what you shocked for? He been doing this. Right. You know, because she had a softer kind of personality. So she's like, yeah, if you let him, he will try. Right? But that just show you they sit down and they psych out who to try these things with.
Again, and that brings me back to my point, Jamie, that parents need to do a better job of pouring love into their children so that when they come out in the world, they don't fall victim to some of these rimped, nasty people. That is it,
You're right, EK.
Yeah, our sons too.
Home, you know. But we can't say that in St. Kitts, otherwise EK is the criminal, EK is the cook.
No, you're damaged. You need some counseling.
Yeah.
I know, you know. Try book a therapist today.
Yeah, man, bless up yourself.
That was a light moment because y'all like to take things and make them serious. It was a light moment. Exactly, and Ike knows what I was speaking about. Let's take this call. Good afternoon, you're live.
Jamie, look like today's my day. Hear this, Jamie.
It come like you have a speed dial.
I'm telling you.
Hear this, Jamie. When I came back here to St. Kitts, I went carnival. And when I reach here now, I'm begging a woman to dance in the carnival, you know. Like, put my hand around her waist.
What you say, a beggar?
Yeah. Well, I beg me a beg. I can't know one line with me. Tell me, Lucy, you're full of joke. Down here, we know in that. I want you to read something where I'm coming from. Right?
You see the difference in culture?
Lucy, down here, we know in that.
So they just grab and go.
Grab and go. He said, that is how we do it down here. No. I want to put that into our carnival. Because that is where a lot of the damage starts. And it could be done there.
Definitely.
We send our children to those places. And according to the youngsters that tell me, Lucy down here, we not have to just grab and go. I walk up behind them. And that's it. How can we change those things to our children? How can we change those things in the carnival system when it has become part of us, when people head down and they bomb up in the ear and anybody, just imagine 50-something-year-old have a little boy, 15 and 14, a jam behind them. Come on, how can we change those things to what you all are speaking about? Right. I thank you.
Thank you so much.
Children got no cause in adults' entertainment.
Exactly, and it's real adults, you know. The things that happen on the road, there's nothing left for the imagination, right? And that point that he raises about carnival is a serious point because there's alcohol involved. But I'm going to come back to that. Let's take this call. I think this will be our final call. Nubian has to go. Good afternoon, you're live.
Jamie, sorry to call back. Nubian, I can't defend you the way I say about St. Kitts, man. He could defend you. But
me ain't need nobody to defend me.
Oh, God.
You ain't know me, no?
You said we don't hug. When we hug, you say we in a mood.
I said I ain't want nobody hug me. That's what I said.
Okay, the whole world, you mean? Not just St. Kitts alone.
I said, may want to St. Kitts man hug me.
Oh Lord, oh Lord. You hear the new
I am
You hear that?
speaking generally, and
okay.
I know exactly the demographic they're talking about. Them there who like hug you and hold you forever, and want to come put them out on your face, and
Yeah,
yes,
for real. I
we
agree with you
we
with
know
that.
what
Trust
the
me.
people, the
Trust
women out
me.
there know
Trust
what
me.
we mean. You know, they
I'm
understand.
over the trail, yes. Okay. Respect my bless. What do you say?
Okay. And that's how we're going to end the call-in segment because this afternoon, I knew that we would get a lot of calls this afternoon. But the point that I was making with alcohol, I recently saw the Prime Minister of Trinidad saying that they're raising the legal age to consume alcohol in Trinidad to 21. Some people are taking offense, some people are happy. My thing is, whether you're 18 or 21, when you're drinking, you have to be responsible.
Correct.
Because it alters your mind, right? So you cannot go out and just get wasted and be on the road. Like, you can't do that. You're putting yourselves in very precarious positions.
And most of our teens and most of our adults, adolescents are not just drinking alcohol. They're mixing it with marijuana. You got to choose your poison. You know? Yeah?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we're letting our children go to music fest. We had this conversation.
Yeah.
Music festival.
That was a flare up, yeah.
They're drinking at these events, and you could see that they're children, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of conversations you're having with your children to prepare them for that kind of world, because it's scary.
Listen, right? We go, and you're right. Alcohol would alter your mind. You won't be thinking straight.
All of us.
Based on the amount you consume.
Exactly.
Now, if your daughter has friends that you don't know about, or have bad friends, and she's going to an event, over drinking, what you expect
And not only
will
that,
happen.
your daughter has friends who all of them drunk. So nobody is there to look out for the other one. Everybody cannot be drunk.
So now, here is it. Your daughter leaves home, goes to a party, come back home, they say 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, no bus running. How she got home?
Madness, you know. It's madness.
How
you know?
she got home? A 18-year-old, a 17-year-old, 16-year-old. How she got home? And those are the things that I feel as a society, we must speak about.
And when I'm saying these things, I am not trying to come from a place of judgment. I'm just trying to raise awareness, because all of us done had nights where we drink a little bit too much and we can't remember what happened the night before.
I was going to that because I remember having cases like that in SVU where they come as a tourist, even our locals, they drink, and at the end of the day, they find themselves in position that they can't even remember.
Exactly.
And then they blame the police for not pursuing a case when
but they don't have
can't
the
give
evidence.
us
They can't give you the information.
They don't
right?
know who.
So you have to be responsible for yourself. When you're going out, you go out with friends. My grandmother used to say, if you leave together, you come back together. But you go out with friends and then one turn off, leave the other one. Those kind of things. I mean, as a parent, I could not be there all the time. My daughter used to love to go to football. I wasn't in a football story. I still ain't going, right? But I knew when she goes to football, Burgers was going to be at the football. And if anybody watches Sideways, Burgers was protecting her.
Right.
And I'm going to call his name on the air because he's her family member, not mine. But he always looked out for her.
Right.
Right? Always, no matter what.
Genuinely.
I knew that. Naya said one time, Naya said, Mommy, I dissociate because he'd be loud with it. Right. But I knew that there were people that you could count on. So we need more people like that within our society. And then, raise your children to be strong too. Can't be raising no weaklings. And these people, these predators, because the predators are strong.
They are.
That's why I say we have to raise leaders.
And so I want to give the sergeant an opportunity to tell me as a parent or as a member of the community what to do if I see a particular situation, or what I should do if a child come to me 7 o'clock in the night saying, hey, listen, I'm in that particular house, I'm seeking refuge here.
Okay.
What to do? Because
especially when it's somebody girl child.
I tell
as a man.
because I don't think I would. Well, tell me what to do because it has never happened in the past.
Okay, what you do, you call the nearest police station and you lodge that report.
Right.
The police should respond. And because it's a child, child services would be contacted as well. So it's a collaborative effort between
At the same
police,
time.
It should happen. We don't normally happen. Sometimes we don't get child services how we would like. There might be a delay, but they do show up.
Right.
But police should respond. So you make a report or you call me.
So really and truly, what you just said is that no child should be reported missing, seeking safe haven. No way.
You can
because
until the police show up, you can be that safe space for that child.
But you have to
But
make
you
that
have
report.
to make a report
right
to the relevant.
So you cannot just say, oh, well, she says she mother the beat her up, so she come by me.
Right.
No.
Correct. And that is the point I
Report
wanted.
it to the police.
That is the point I wanted to
Because
get
there are some genuine people who, and I'm not, men and women, who would put themselves in those situations and say, you know, she's being whatever, but report it to the authorities because you're going to put yourself in problems.
because child, your daughter A could go over to this man's house and she just get a set of licks from she mother because she ain't washed the dishes. A serious set of licks with an electric cable. And she run out and run away and she gone by this man and the man say, well, stay here. And then the man say, well, she mother bang up, she come with a lot of whale and she skin. So I didn't want she mother bang up no more, so she was here. Well,
No,
he was taking advantage of that
sounds
situation.
predator-ish.
Correct. But he got the evidence. Well, she
It
just get a
matter.
set of licks.
It
And
doesn't
so
matter.
You're going to help genuinely.
Exactly.
So the point is, if somebody come to your place seeking refuge under whatever circumstances, call the police.
Yep. Call
the relevant authorities.
And listen, you shouldn't even have to tell people this, but the thing that you have to tell them, call the police.
Being awareness still.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's somebody's child, right?
Exactly.
And you have to be it's not your child. You have to be accountable to the people.
And your job is not to wonder whether they're going to take away from her mommy or whatever, because in all honesty, even if she's removed from this space, let's say child physical abuse, the child services job is to mend back that family, whether you put the mother in, hopefully, the family coach, put the mother into counseling, classes, parental classes, because let us be real. I remember that I myself had that reflection when my children were very young, because all I knew was the beating and the bad with them, and nobody you know the bad with them, right? my mom wasn't always so kind. Hey, it's still kind of spicy, but ain't kind of bad with them, right? But I remember having family meeting. I used to have family meeting with my daughters, and it was days where you say, no, you know, whatever you say, no beating, no this. And this day, it was about me. You look at the team up on me, but okay. They said, my mouth. I didn't even know when I stopped, but I know I stopped.
Yeah.
You understand me? No and then I used to, we can get angry, you know, you're all human, you used to pitch out and they could say, but I controlled it to the point that I don't swear. And this is before I changed long before I changed my mind. I actually stopped. Because the bad word them used to come out in the sentences. Nice. And then, who knows, I would have been here 15 years after dealing with these things. And all of this, I just say God set me up for my journey.
Right, correct. So you could
I
speak
had
to
as
it from
a parent.
space.
And it's also important for parents to have family meeting. You're trying to make it small. You had as we were saying, local term, one children. You have that meeting with that child.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm happy that you were transparent in that, because it shows that you're coming from a place of experience.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we don't want to admit certain things, right? We don't want to admit certain things because we want to have that judgment over other people, and it's not really helpful. Because if you come to me and you say, listen, Jamie, I feel that you're an awful parent, you're doing this, I'm going to listen to you. You catch flies with honey faster than you catch them with vinegar, right? But if you come and say, listen, I was there, I understand what you're going through, and then you give me mechanisms that worked for you, then I may be more inclined to take that advice.
And listen, even before I became a police, I beat my daughter. And it was a wrong lick. You hear me? It was a wrong lick I gave her because she moved. A wrong lick, thank God. I wouldn't call the doctor name. But, and well, she ended up to be my boss, because I wasn't in the forces yet. And she was my friend, and she came to me and said, if you don't stop Lindita Powell, I'm going to lock you up myself. And I had to change me. I had to change me as a parent. I had to come off that I am the parent kind of vibes.
Right. And don't tell me nothing.
Yeah, I had to come down, and it was good that a friend could come and tell me that.
Yeah.
So I had to change. I had to change the way I raise my children in order for them not to be broken. Raising children. And you said it today.
I want to give you the opportunity to leave your final remarks. What is it you would like us to most remember? Because we're going to bring you back, right?
Yes, we will. Yes, we will. Yes, we will.
Okay. Have a lot. Let our kids be kids. Protect their minds, protect their bodies, protect their innocence. We're not just raising boys and girls. We're raising our future leaders. Let's give them the freedom and safety to grow and become what they choose to become. And that's it for me.
Yeah.
I still want to see the communities open up.
We're going to work on it. We need
a lot more community engagement. We need a lot more community support. We need a lot more
volunteers, mentors.
Yes.
And the ones who ain't going to molest the people children we mean.
Exactly.
Predators, we mean you.
Properly vetted.
We don't mean you.
It's not only about the police going out and doing community. We as a community needs to go to our community, raise awareness, see what way we can help.
And a lot of times we look to the government and we look to the politicians. And that's one of the you always hear me speaking about community. We need to pull together, right? Because oftentimes the politicians ain't studying with us. No offense, Nobia, but you know,
it's real.
And but we just have to do it for ourselves.
We see them in their season. We see them in their season coming up. So we have to do it all year round because it's about us.
The same thing you said. I mean, when you spoke about the community centers, our community centers need to open back up and be that safe space with persons that have track record of working genuinely for the community.
And it will also create jobs in the communities as well.
Right.
When I went to the UK, this is where I got it from, and I am hoping that McKnight could be my pilot. I saw the communities come alive, different programs for the children to be engaged in music, at the music room, sports, exercise, whatever it is.
Right.
The community came alive.
Yeah.
And you look at children's strengths, and you were talking about that recently, where you were talking about the football. Anyway, we could go on all afternoon, but thank you so much for coming. We enjoyed the conversation and we learned a lot, and we look forward to having you back because we can talk about certain things that we need to touch on as well. This is how we're going to end Hot Topics for this afternoon. Thank you to all of you who chose to spend your afternoon with us. I saw all the comments, all the WhatsApp messages. I was not able to get to them, but just know that your contribution was valued. Thank you so much.